again, everyone. It's me, and I hope you're gaining some insight from the segments we've already covered. If not insight, then hopefully I've told you which publication and tab to assist you in this venture. Well, today we'll be covering another subject entitled Exemptions. This topic is covered in depth in Publication 4012, Tab C, Exemptions and Dependents. Exemptions are amounts used to reduce the taxpayer's taxable income. And we all know the less income you have, the less tax you pay. Well, that's the premise anyway. There are two types of exemptions. They are personal and dependency exemptions. If you would go to your publication 4491, chapters 5 and 6 provides us with a really good source of information. You can also use publication 4012, tab C, to provide a lot deeper understanding on this topic, as I am going to do here. The TaxSlayer Pro Online will take the personal exemption under consideration when the filing status is correctly identified. For instance, if the filing status is single, married filing separately, head of household, or a qualifying widow or widower, the personal exemption will automatically be 1. If the filing status is married filing joint, then the personal exemption will automatically be 2. So, this is the area that we'll be focusing on. Dependence is located right below the taxpayer's address. You will notice that this area refers to dependents. However, know that the taxpayer or taxpayers are entitled to their own personal exemption also. The dependents area has space for the dependent's name, the Social Security number or ITIN number, the dependent's relationship to you, that is, to you, the taxpayer, whether or not child tax credit is available. If a child is under age 17, we'll cover that in a little bit, as well as the credits for other dependents. Those are the dependents that are over 17 years of age, as well as some others. TaxSlayer Pro Online checks the boxes that are applicable based upon the data that's already been input by the tax preparer. Now, dependents, taxpayers are allowed 1 dependency exemption for each qualifying child or relative. So here we see new verbiage or terms, qualifying child or qualifying relatives. Those terms are defined for you on page C-1 of publication 4012, as well as in publication 4491. We will touch on them here. However, you will need to study them as you move forward in your training. Publication 4012, page C-1, provides an overview in determining what tests must be met for a qualifying child to be a dependent, as well as what tests must be met for a qualifying relative to be a dependent. A decision tree can also assist you in determining whether or not you are entitled to a personal exemption. Simply move step by step across the row. You will also notice 3 footnotes at the bottom of this page. Don't forget to read those as well. Now, this slide is a replica of the chart shown on page C-1, overview of the rules for claiming an exemption for a dependent. So let's talk a little bit about that. Right off the bat, the chart gives us a caution telling us the table is only an overview of the rules, and then refers us to another source, publication 17, which provides an in-depth clarification. Publication 17 is available online and will also be available at each VITA site in paper format. So, if you are unsure of the rules for claiming a dependency exemption, refer to Publication 17 or ask your site manager or other available resource person. I have summarized the chart on the following slide. However, I do want you to notice of the 5 footnotes below the chart, as you might need to refer to those from time to time. The test for the qualifying child, which is on the left-hand side, and then tests for qualifying relatives appear on the right-hand side. Let's just talk about the qualifying child. The qualifying child must be your child, your stepchild, your foster child, your half-brother or half-sister, could be your stepbrother or your stepsister, or any dependents or any descendants of any of them. Your child or the qualifying child must be under age 19 at the end of the year, or under age 24 if they're a full-time student, and younger than you or any age if they're permanently and totally disabled. Number 3, the qualifying child must live with you for more than half of the year. Number 4, the qualifying child must not have supported themselves for more than 50% during the year. Number 5, the qualifying child must not file a joint tax return unless that qualifying child is receiving a full income tax withheld amount in the form of a refund. Number 6, the qualifying child, if the child's exemption qualifies for more than one person, you must be entitled to claim the exemption of the qualifying child. Now let me move over to the right-hand side, qualifying relative. The person can't be your qualifying child or a qualifying child of any other taxpayer. The qualifying relative must be a person that is related to you in one of the ways listed in Table 2, Step 2. That is found on page C-4 in the publication 4012, or they must have lived with you as a member of your household for the entire year. Number 3, the qualifying relatives must not have income or gross income of more than $4,150. The income must be less than $4,150. And number 4, you must have provided more than 50% of that person's total support. Now, there is another chart on page C-4 that specifically speaks to item number 6 on this slide. That chart is titled Qualifying Child of More Than One Person. The chart helps or assists us in making decisions concerning item number 6 under qualifying child test. Okay, so to wrap this up, there are 3 more charts remaining as well as a worksheet. Let me briefly go through each of them. After reading the overview rules on page C-1 of publication 4012, you might be wondering, where do I start? Well, begin with Table 1, all dependents for all dependents. In fact, Table 1 tells us to begin with this table for determining the dependency exemption for both the qualifying child and the qualifying relatives. Simply go step by step, reading across to the yes and no responses. For instance, Table 1, Step 5. If the answer is no, it directs us to Table 2, Dependency Exemption for Qualifying Relative. In fact, reading through Table 1 directs us to Table 2 in several other steps as well. If the answer is yes, in Step 7 of the Table 1, it directs us to use Table 3, Children of divorced or separated parents, or parents who live apart. My whole point in this exercise is to make sure that you read the steps and follow the steps directions to get to the proper result. Finally, we come to this very helpful worksheet that can assist the taxpayer in determining whether or not they have furnished more than 50% support of the child or the relative whom they're trying to claim an exemption for. We usually have some copies of these at each site, which are given to the taxpayer. This worksheet is on page C-7 and C-8 of Publication 4012. Tab C in Publication 4012 is very important and chock full of information. Use the 4012 for its intended purposes, and don't forget to read all the critical footnotes as they can provide a deeper understanding. Well, that's all I got. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next segment. Thanks again.